I'm Jason Cormier, co-founder of Room 214, founded the company in 2004. Room 214 is a growth studio, and we exist to help organizations who are interested in being category leaders in their industries. There's a great deal of incoherence in marketing and sales. We come in and create coherence. We help these companies grow, not only at an iterative rate, but at an exponential rate. We've been very intentional about serving a range of companies in different industries over the years. And part of that reason is because it keeps it interesting for everybody who works at Room 214. So from funded startups to Fortune 100, really all across the board, business to consumer or business to business. So the entrepreneurial journey for me actually began a long time ago. I will just quickly start by saying I've started 7 businesses. 3 have failed miserably. 2 have been pretty successful. So I came out of the Navy in 1993, and I had my GI Bill, and I thought, I'm going to be a computer science major. The problem was I really sucked at coding. The good news for me was the internet was coming online, Netscape 1.0. It was the World Wide Web. And so I started a web development business out of a computer lab at Santa Barbara City College. And of course, people were like, dude, that's not a business. You can't make money doing that. So I walked the streets of Santa Barbara, knocking on doors with a one-pager that said, why you need a website. And people were like, yeah, I don't really think I need a website. So that went on for a while. And what I'll tell you, just in terms of highlights, a defining moment was when Kinko's gave me a call and said, hey, we heard that you do web pages. Might you come and do some web page development for us? So I looked at the work, scoped it out, and thought, wow, this is super exciting, and this is a pretty big company. You know, Kinko's, of course, is now FedEx these days, but they had over 900 stores nationwide, and I said, okay, I'm gonna charge $1,000 for this work, which was just a massive amount of money in my brain. And that day, my contact followed up with me and she said, Jason, I don't really know how to tell you this. I'm just going to give it to you straight. In order for my company to take your bid seriously, you have to add another 0. And so $10,000 for a day of work? Yeah, I pretty much knew it was a business at that point. In less than 3 years from that time, I sold my company, became VP of Internet Services, whatever it was whatever I was doing back then. And I'll just say that along the way, I kept in touch with a very close friend of mine, James Clark. We collaborated a lot on web development stuff. He and I were roommates in college, our freshman year, at Colorado State University in Room 214, which is what my current business name is, named after that dorm room. And James and I always stayed in touch, always collaborated, his PR firm, my web development stuff. And eventually, several businesses later, we began experimenting with a brand new platform called Google AdWords. This was in 2003. And then the following year, we experimented with another company called WordPress. And so we started Room 214 in 2004. And I'll just say that there are several waves that we were able to ride. At one point, if you typed in social media agency in Google, no matter where you were on earth, you would find us as the number 1 or number 2 spots. And so it's been an awesome evolution, and it's been a required evolution, because even what we were doing 5 years ago, we can't do today the same way. The elements to a thriving culture at Room 214 begin with having a vision, but I would say what makes the culture thrive is including people in that vision. So it's not just hey, me and my co-founder have a vision, we're going to hand this down to you. It's actually, no, we're going to teach you how to create a vision alongside us. A vision by definition should be strategically sound and inspiring. And so if I say, hey, my vision is to make $10 billion, well, that might be inspiring to me and my co-founder, not so much to the people that work for me. And so we include them in that process. And when that vision plays out, it plays out through open book management, which means that we're not just sharing financials with the people that work with us, we are sharing in the success. And that's really the key to it all. When I think of a titan in the industry, somebody that I really admire, there's so many people that you can choose from. And I think somebody who comes to mind for me is just somebody who I've met. And so a gentleman named Ari Weinswig, who started the Zingerman's community of businesses. I love this guy. And 4 years ago, I think he was listed as a top 10 CEO in some Inc. magazine list. So he checks all those boxes. But the reason I really like him is because he taught me all about visioning and the importance of it, how to write a vision. And then he took it a step further and taught how does that vision actually pull through into running and operationalizing a company. And that's open book management. And so I was personally trained by him in terms of how to create a vision and how to do open book management. And this is a guy who has totally scratched his own itch. He started with a deli in the 1980s, and he thought to himself, gosh, it'd be so cool if the bread on the sandwich was better. So then he started a bakery, and he was eating sandwiches and thinking, boy, the cheese should be better. So then he started a creamery, and it goes on and on. He started a coffee company, a training company, $60 million plus per year later. He's an amazing individual. When people ask me what the best piece of business advice is that I've ever received, I actually think of several pieces of advice. And so in that context, I will just share a few. My good friend and a mentor, Ari Weinswig, who I've talked about before, one of my favorite phrases that he shared with me is, before you get furious, get curious. And I can't even tell you how many times that has saved me time and has preserved relationships. Because when it comes to getting curious, especially with people, you got to pick up the phone. You got to get in front of them. You have to talk, not type. Typing sucks. I think another great piece of advice comes from Donald Miller. He talks about the value of clarity over cute and clever. And so many people try to be cute and clever. And in fact, I think I'm trying to be cute and clever right now. So clarity over cute and clever is awesome advice. When you think about marketing, sales, how you communicate as an individual, it's everything. What I know about leading a company now versus what I wished I knew about back in the day is the fact that you have to become a student of leadership. None of us who start a company get into it because we want to lead people, right? Typically, we are passionate about a product or a service that we're delivering. But as we succeed, of course, what happens is we need to inspire others. They need to be able to see the vision or be a part of the vision. And so I really wished that I would have been paying more attention at an earlier stage in terms of how to be a better leader and how to help people help me. I think the characteristics of a titan in industry, really the one that comes to mind the most for me is curiosity, right? And so curiosity is really what drives and inspires us to get more knowledge. And when we apply that knowledge, by definition, that is wisdom. And people pay for wisdom. And so if you don't have curiosity, I don't know where you're going.